Hello, hello, hello. My name is NicholassRivas, and I talk about politics and stuff. And today we're going to be talking about some really fun things today. The classic, the original, everyone knows about it, the Great Replacement Theory. It's one of the funniest things to hear about within human society. I think the smarter we become, the more obscene these ideas are. For those who don't know, the Great Replacement Theory is uh, neo-Nazi, Nazi-esque thought of white people are being replaced. It's fear mongering. It's classic 101 how to enrage a group of people and scare them without discussing pound for pound policy. Trump has done it in many xenophobic routes. Um, Most modern day people are disgusted with the idea of any Nazism, any racism. So it's usually in our modern sense, the guise of it's not racist to want to preserve your culture, right? It's not racist to want to just date within your own race. None of those statements on itself seem obscene or gross or Nazi-ish, I guess. I mean, for modern day people, especially amongst white communities, being told you don't want to date a black person that's racist is weird, right? You would be taken back from it. But I think the idea is more so when you start thinking about it. So, like, when you push back a little, I wouldn't call someone inherently racist for saying that. I think within our world, it's okay to have preference, right? It's okay to say I like someone with a lighter skin. It's not weird to many. To me, it is. I don't give a fuck. Like, if you're pretty, right? But hey, good for you. But when you start pushing the topic a little bit more, you realize the absurdity. Like, you wouldn't fuck Beyonce. Say you didn't want black people, you wouldn't fuck Beyonce. Say your child dates someone who is another race, would be okay with that? That's where you start seeing the racist arguments come out. Again, nobody is saying that you have to date black people. You don't have to date Mexicans. Nobody wants that shit. But the idea that you find it even relevant to bring up is odd, right? Like, I'm very doubtful that you think every single, I'm just going to throw a random place, every Guatemalan is not, to your appetite, right? Like, you would say, I only date white people. That's weird. Like, really? Have you seen the beauty of Korea? Have you seen the beauty of the Brazilian people? Have you seen the beauty? I mean, the absurdity of race is already weird enough, but like, there's people who are just darker, lighter, who speak this culture, who speak this language, yada yada. That's all it is. That's the only distinctions between us. And it's like I'm talking to a fucking baby. Like, of course we all know this, but sometimes I think people genuinely do forget. Like, I've met many of friends who say I want to preserve my white culture, and they say it like matter of fact, like it's not racist. But the idea always grossed me out, because, like, who the fuck thinks like that? Like, I've been told that by my own family. Like, don't you want to date within your race? Don't you want to preserve your Mexican culture? I can do that with or without dating someone who's Mexican. I'm still Mexican. They didn't take my Mexican away. I think that's some fear for some people. I'm not going to doubt that like you have this erasure when you date, and you lose your little bit of culture. Imagine going from Mexico to America. You lose a lot of your Mexican culture because you didn't grow up there anymore, or you're not growing up there anymore. So yeah, I mean, that's definitely a concern, but I just think the whole, like, it's just so close to being some Nazi shit that it ends up just being Nazi shit. Like, if I want to preserve my culture, and that doesn't, like, if my kid is half white, half Mexican, I still can preserve my culture by having them know about it and understand it. Maybe listen to the music, maybe eat the food, maybe visit the place. My culture isn't just designated to one thing. And also, like, I just think they want to have white kids. Like, I want my kid to be blue eyes, white, blonde hair, and that's just the weird shit to me. Because that mean like especially in Arizona, people are like, I want to preserve my white culture. My guy, you're gonna become darker than me one day, just through evolution, just through pigmentation. We live in a hot sunbelt place where your pigmentation will change due to the evolution of the sun. Sorry, my guy, you're not going to preserve your pigmentation. When I hear stuff like that, I just realize how ludicrous it is, and just how dumb. Like, who cares, right? But a lot of these, modern day racists use that, I don't care. You can do whatever you want. But me personally, like, yes, we know you personally, fine. You can do whatever the fuck you want. It's your fucking life. But the idea that it's not racist is very stupid. It's very immature. Just be admitted to yourself. If you said I'm okay with my kid not dating a black person because I want to preserve my culture, it's your choice. Your kid's not going to adhere to that. It's very rare your kid's going to be like, you know what? Dad says I can't date white people. I'm not going to date them. You're a fucking idiot. Your kid's going to do whatever they want. So why even say it? Just date who you want to date. If someone asks you out and they're black and you don't want to date them because they're black, that's fucking weird. But again, hey, it's your preference, right? Like, it's just so weird. Like, if you find someone attractive and you don't like them because of their pigmentation, that's just so fucking weird. Like, pussy's pussy, bro. How are you gonna say no to that? How are you gonna say no to an attractive person if they come up to you? It's just a stupid argument. And I think it's an insecure argument. I think there's this idea that people are worried that they're gonna be taken over, become the minority, and then be treated poorly because they're minorities. But I just can never see that be the case, due to the fact that I think as our society is becoming more and more class-based, not that I'd say it wasn't before, but I definitely see a world where, since we're moving past this racist shit, like, even the most racist conservative person out there will never say black people need to have their own school. That those days are gone. You would be a pariah if you ever said that in the political sphere. I think the shift now is to classism, because it's always been about classism, but now it's becoming more apparent. You don't really care about someone's race, maybe on a micro level, maybe on a person to person level, but I think when you have people more focused on class, that's where you're gonna see the true bigotry and true, like, I can see a world where people are like, you can't date, I mean, it's already here, but you can't date so and so because they're poor. Like, there's going to be a hard line of bigotry when it comes to those who are in the lower classes. It used to be under the, here's a little sheet of racist to throw on top of it, but now that's been wiped off and now it's just classism. So, yeah, stupid to me. I don't get it. If someone says that to me, I think I'm just going to go crazy, because I've heard it a plethora of times. And again, fuck whoever you want. I don't care. I don't give a shit who you fuck. But legitimately, a lot of people do. And they're pushing for it within legislations. I can see a world where they're still going to be pushing for segregation. I mean, let's be real too. We haven't been that far from our society where racists don't have any power. Like, within our own president, I think he was for segregations of busing, I think it was. So, that's our president. That guy is not that far off removed from our racist generation. Like, we're pretty close. I think as society progresses, we kind of forget, but yeah, we're not that far removed from it all. We're pretty much still in the trenches of it all, and the unfortunate truth, right? But I think the whole ideology, as long as we just try to keep out that shit within our legislation, we should be okay. And I think the focus is more so on, LGBTQ people. That's more the prolific audience that's hitting right now. Race is definitely less so, more in institutionalized rather than on the surface level. So I can get a sigh of relief that my race will never be as prevalent as my sexuality, but I'm still stuck in this shitty limbo of life, right? That being said, the Great Replacement theory is just a theory. It's not real. The demographic changes are natural and part of just any sort of migration of societies, and that's how they always been. So if anybody thinks that migration shit is, they're gonna replace us, you're weird. There's just no data to back it up that droves and droves of white people are being taken out. Maybe in South Africa, maybe, but I don't know enough to talk about it, so that's what I'm saying, maybe. But yeah, so that is what it is. Love you all. New videos every other day. Thank you very much. Have a great one. Be safe. Love you.
try to bomb.